Hello and welcome to week 4 of AC 1520 Managerial Accounting. My contact information is here with the email address, the phone number, and the office hours. Office hours being on Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. These are not required. This is a question answer format in terms of office hours. We do have a separate number here for the office hours, being a conference call number so that we can have multiple people on that call at one time if we so choose. We have the URL address there in case we want to work over problems and share the screen. This is a useful tool to use, so I would get used to using that tool in order to share screens and work through problems in that format. It is helpful to work through problems in that way. Remember, we have the gradebook over on the left hand side, grades here. If I move into there, we will be entering grades from Connect as well as any updates to the Moodle Rooms assignments once a week. So weeks late work for 1 and 2 and week 3 should be entered into here, which will be the final gradebook that we will have by the end of Tuesday. Therefore, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning would be the best time to go in here and check these once a week. Make sure that it looks correct on your end, as well as to make sure that you have picked up everything that you need to pick up. If you have any zeros on anything from week 2 prior, that means that we should pick up late work on that. So late work should be open to pick up. You could lose late work points on it, but you can go in and open that up and take a look at that. So make sure to pick up any of that late work. You know that you do obviously want to keep up to date on these classes because they go by quickly, so things can get piled up pretty fast. So we do want to keep up to date, but if there's late work that you need to pick up, then pick that up. Remember that quizzes generally are the area that we cannot pick up late work on for the most part, unless there's an unusual circumstance in which you'd have to email me. I would take that on a case-by-case basis and determine whether an extension can or cannot be granted. And if so, then I would have to do so on a case-by-case basis. So let me know if something comes up in that section so I can grant the extension or not as time permits. Going to go back up to the cookie trail up top and scroll down to the current week being week 4. Within week 4, we will be covering chapters 23 and 24. We're going to have your lectures up here that we can take a look at to get us started on those chapters. We have, of course, the discussion forum to start us off in Moodle Rooms. Remember that the attack that I would approach, the way to approach most of these classes, I would suggest is that we want to pick up full credit on the discussion forums. They're worth 21% of the grade. Want to pick up as close to full credit as possible on the assignments and the homeworks. And if we do so, then we should be taking the quizzes and the final and the midterm with a fairly substantial cushion if we do not do as well as we need to on those. Why would I suggest that? Because we have the most control over these discussion forums and assignments and homework. The discussion forums are really due to participation. 21% of the points are 2 full grades. Therefore, they're worth a lot. So if you can pick up full credit on 2 full grades worth of points, then I would make sure to do that. How do you make sure to do that? You would get a minimum of 4 posts. Remember that the discussion forums accumulate upwards, so every post can give you more points. No posts generally take away points, although it is possible to have a post that is not substantial enough to get the maximum number of points. So unlike other problems, the discussion forums count upwards only. And so every post can accumulate more points until you achieve the total of full credit on those posts. You can achieve full credit with a minimum of 4, but I would post more than 4 in order to make sure that you get the full credit. And what do you have to do in order to get credit on the post? We need to add content to the post. So you can answer my questions, you can answer questions I asked to someone else, you can answer someone else's questions, but it needs to basically add content in order to get full credit on a post, or any credit on the post. So if we say something like, I liked someone else's post, that's fine. Just add content to it. However, what's good about it, add something new to it, to the post to add the content in there. That's where you're going to get the most points on it. And then we have the assignments here. So we've got the assignments will be in Connect. These are going to be the longer type of assignments. They're going to be up here in Connect. And they will be these type of assignments. Remember that most of them we do have a worksheet here. So this worksheet is not to be turned in to Moodle to Connect here or Moodle Rooms. It's to be helpful with the work there. So although these assignments are long, don't be intimidated by them, because you can get a lot of the formatting done, of course, through just looking at the worksheet, watching the examples. I do suggest working them in Excel because it does help you with Excel, helps you with the calculations. It may seem like more work, but I think in a lot of ways it's actually less work, because Excel will help you with the calculations, and it's just a good idea to get to know the formulas in Excel. And I really think these problems are the best place to learn the formulas within Excel. So you want to pick those up in order to work these problems. I hopefully will have this one soon. I'll add another paperclip as soon as I can, if I can, for this problem. And then of course you've got the Learn Smarts up here to work through that. So I'm going to go back to the Moodle rooms. The homeworks will be the Learn Smarts. So remember that the Learn Smarts are usually the smaller problems that are going to be similar to the quizzes, which will be in multiple choice format. So smaller problems can be difficult because they limit the information. I do think the Learn Smarts are the best thing you want to study in order to work or practice for the quizzes. So even when you're done with the Learn Smarts, you might want to do them over and over again, so you get to know the type of kind of tricky type of questions that a multiple choice or limited information question would have. And while you work those, I would have the Excel worksheets open and the problems open, which generally have more information. They generally have too much information, so that you can then reference, even though they're different problems, you can reference the format of the big picture while you're working on these things that basically are limiting your sight into the smaller picture. And the same is going to be with the quiz. Remember, the quiz is going to be due by Sunday, and I would have the same things open on the quiz. I'd have the larger problems open and the Excel sheets open to give us that full picture view while we're being asked questions that usually have limited information. And so the quiz is going to be due by Sunday. Make sure that you do the quiz. We can't extend the quiz unless there's an unusual circumstance in which you'd have to email me on a case-by-case basis. I would accept or deny any extensions. Other than that, then you don't want to get a 0 on the quiz, so make sure that you take the quiz by Sunday, even if you're not prepared for it, so that you pick up points on it. And also, if there's any unusual circumstances that happen in this mod and that may qualify for a 2-week extension, such as hospitalization or some kind of problem that was an issue this mod that won't be an issue next mod, then let me know and we can try to file for a 2-week extension. I don't recommend doing that unless it's a last resort, because then people get backed up on their following classes and the extension's not always granted by the central office. So don't depend on that. But if someone does have a situation where a 2-week extension would qualify for and need that because of an unusual circumstance, the procedure would be to email me the unusual circumstance with an email saying something like, I'm requesting a 2-week extension because of this unusual circumstance. This unusual circumstance told me I could restricted me from doing the work this mod. It will not be there next mod, therefore I'll be able to finish the work next mod as well as continue with the new classes. And that would be the request. I would send that into the central office. They would either take it or deny it. And if they accept it, then we can get a 2-week extension on that. So if anybody has any questions on that process, then let me know. And other than that, it's have a great week 4, and